everybody, welcome to College Stratagems. If you are new, welcome. I am your College Stratagems coach Jodian, and if you aren't new guys, I want to thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a loyal subscriber and supporter of my channel. Love you guys. Guys, I'm just having some American apples. We're gonna start now guys. Okay, so in this video we're gonna talk about booking your flight for the J1 program to go to whichever state that you were assigned. Now let me just backtrack a little to remind you guys some of the topics that we have covered so far. Why you should do the J1 summer work and travel program. We also covered recently how you can pass your J1 embassy interview. And I'm sure now you're watching this video and you might be fairly new to the program, your first time applying, etc. And you want some advice, some tips as to how you should go about booking your flight. And I'm giving you this tip because this is something that I really didn't get any advice on, but the experience teaches wisdom. Trust me when I tell you that, guys. Experience teaches wisdom. I want to impart that knowledge which I have garnered to you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made. For me, what I did to book my flight, I used an agency. So you might see me look down, guys. You already know I like to write down my points. So if it's your first time now, you doing the program, your first time traveling, I would recommend now that you use a travel agency to book your flight. Why? Because they can go ahead now and give you some advice as to how you should go about booking your flight. They can tell you, okay, it's not wise to do an overnight flight, and they can give you some more information. I just said hi to my cousin sitting on my veranda, guys. You all know that. Alright, so back to the main point. So I was saying, if it's your first time doing the program, I would recommend that you use a travel agency. Why? Because they can go ahead now and guide you as to how you should book your flight. They can book your flight for you, and they will also tell you some of the times that are available. Yes, it will be nice. It's cheaper if you do it independently, but if you're fairly new and it's your first time traveling, I would like, each time I'm doing a video, guys, there's a flight that always want to be in the video. Like, I'm sorry, but this video is just so but I hope that you get adequate information based on what I'm talking about. So first, use a travel agency. They can guide you. They can tell you. For my travel agent, she told me, okay, it's best you don't book an overnight flight. This day is better. They gave me a lot of advice, all right, for somebody who it's their first time traveling. So I would advise you use a travel agency. Now, if you don't want to go through that stress and you really want to be independent, I would also recommend that if you don't want to use a travel agency or a travel agent, one of your friends or family member, they might know how to book a flight. Ask them to guide you and to help you to do that, all right, so that they can give you some advice. They can tell you what is better from what's not better, and so forth. So that's my first point. The second point now is to book your flight early. Like, guys, this one is the point, a major point. Book your flight, guys. Book it from early. So say you plan to leave on the 31st of May. Book your flight from maybe even the 13th or the 15th of May, at least 2 or 3 weeks before you leave. Why? Because the earlier you book your flight, the cheaper it is. So if you want to leave on the 31st and okay, you decide I'm going to book my flight on the 20th, it might not be as cheap as if you were to book your flight on the 10th or on the 12th or on the 15th of May. So the earlier you book your flight, the better it is for you and the cheaper it is for you, especially if you're going to a state that is not very popular and not a lot of persons travel there. Book your flight, guys, from early, at least 2 or 3 weeks before the stipulated day or before the day that you really want to leave. My third point now to you is to remember, guys, this is something that it is so, like, all the 3 points that I'm giving you, they are all important, but this one is also important. This one is important too. All right, so ensure guys that after you book your flight and you get all the information, you get your flight number and so forth, remember to send your itinerary to your US sponsor, to the manager or your contact person in the United States, because they will need that information to make special arrangements so that they can pick you up, or if you're gonna stay, if you're gonna reach late, they might say, okay, when I say late, I mean if you're gonna reach like way up in the night, they might say, okay, you can stay at a particular hotel or cottage or wherever. Ensure guys that you send as soon as you get your itinerary, send it to them, and at least a week before you leave, send it to them again, especially if you didn't hear anything from them. So send your itinerary to them guys. That's very important, because you don't want, when you go to the airport, you have no idea where you're going. You're just stuck there, and that's the time now you're gonna call up your agent or call up your supervisor or whoever to help you. That's just not wise. So remember, early, it's important to be early. So remember, as soon as you get your itinerary guys, send it to your contact person in the United States or your manager or whoever else.